All right, so we're here, season premiere of season 2 of 1923, Yellowstone. We're gonna just jump right into this like we always. First of all, thanks for coming on, Megan.
Yeah, it's been a
Appreciate
while.
that. I know it's been a miss, probably since this show was on.
I think so. I really do.
season season 1. So, all right, so we're gonna start with our score. So I'll go ahead and let you go. If you 0 to 5, 0 being trash, 5 being a masterpiece, what did you give this season 1 premiere episode?
Like a 2.
Oh, we're on the same page. I was like, what are we doing here, folks?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? I gave it a 2 myself,
Yeah.
out of 5, and we'll go ahead and we'll just start dropping in and going in. I kind of broke it down by the story, so
Yes.
we'll go ahead and we'll start in Montana. So everything that happened in Montana with the Duttons, Whitfield, and Banner, we'll talk about that. Spencer, Alex, and then Tiana.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and we'll start with the Duttons. So, what were your thoughts about us coming back with Jacob and the family? Like, what did you think about that whole storyline?
I mean, the only thing that really happened in that storyline was the mountain lion, which I was like, okay, you didn't shoot it. It's going to come back later. And sure enough, it did. That was really the only thing that happened, the mountain lion.
I think that mountain lion, I think it was kind of a symbolism for Whitfield because he's a miner, the mountains, and Jacob asking him, did you come here for warmth or did you come here for me?
Yeah.
And in my previous video, one of my death predictions was Elizabeth. And it almost attacked her.
Oh, when she said, "Oh, the sun," I was like, "Oh, that lion's gonna be out there." Sure enough, it was.
And Aunt Cara saved her this time.
She did.
I think when the family gets attacked, which will be before Spencer gets there, I think she's going to be a casualty. I think she's going to get killed.
Well, she's pregnant, isn't she?
She lost the baby, I think, in the first season.
Okay,
she lost that one.
We tried to watch the first season earlier this week, and we did not get all the way through it. So
yeah, she lost it.
Okay.
She lost the baby. So I feel that mountain lion is a simple, because we talk about lions again later on with Spencer and his buddy. We'll get to
the little Italian guy.
Yeah, he'll get to that conundrum there. there. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot that went on there. We know that it's probably been about 4 months.
It's been a season.
Because we're hitting the winter. It's rough.
Yeah.
But they said they didn't sell any of their bulls. I think they said they kept 4 of them, and the guys have just been out there hunting.
Yes.
We did get a mention of Zane and his whole situation briefly about his wife being taken.
Yeah.
And him not being able to see him, and so that is something they'll probably come back to. But yeah, not a whole lot. I will say this though. I see what they're doing with Banner. In my predictions video, I talked about he's gonna probably turn on Whitfield.
A redemption arc.
Yeah, because you see they introduced his family.
Yes.
Had a son.
Yes.
Hey, I'm doing this so he can have a future.
You know where his loyalties lie, and it's not with Whitfield. Yes.
And the wife was saying, if you lay with dogs, you come up with fleas. He says these ain't fleas.
Yeah.
And I would lay with the devil.
This is a tool. This guy's a tool. Yeah.
To give our son a future. So, they're trying to make him very sympathetic, like.
And they did a good job because he's right. I mean, when he said, "I will do anything to give that kid an opportunity," I'm like, well, if you're a parent, I mean, you all can relate to that. So, yeah.
Juxtaposed to Whitfield, showing us that this man is so sick and depraved.
He's
it's like they wanted to, if you forgot, it's been 2 years. Remember this?
Remember how bad he is? Yes.
And so they want him to be, to the point, I thought he was fine the way he is, but it's starting to get cartoonish levels of evil.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, he's a cunning businessman, kind of root, but I just think that whole, I didn't really care for it too
He
much.
reminds me a bit of the fox and the cat from Pinocchio.
Yeah. Yeah, and even the girl is gone turned full
Oh
evil.
my gosh, what a nut. I
And
mean, I
so
thought maybe at first it was her just trying to survive, but no, I don't think so. I think he opened a door and she's like, "Oh, I kind of like being here."
yeah, she's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I
She's
think
cool.
so. Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, not a whole lot going on Montana. I'm sure it'll start to pick up. At least it had, because there's only 8 episodes, and this is it.
It was a groundwork episode for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're away from Montana. We get out on the open seas, and we're with we'll start with Spencer, and then we'll go to Alex. So, what you think about everything with Spencer? I think this was probably kind of a lot like last season. Things with Spencer tend to bring up the episode.
Yeah, they do, but poor guy is just like he can't catch a break in anything. I mean, everywhere he turns, there's conflict. It's not surprising that he is collecting a buddy, like he is definitely an underdog guy, but like looking at the Yellowstone, that's what John did. All his farm hands were like second chance dudes or like guys that needed, some backup or something and had nothing. And so he's like, here, I'll be your buddy. I'll help you out. So I have a feeling that that's what this is to Spencer too.
I think it's like a Dutton quality.
It is, yeah.
They can't ever look the other way when it's like right or like they have to do the right thing.
Mhm.
And so I think, yeah, like I said, I just think it's in the blood. It's a quality that they have that they just have to. I can't turn away. I have to do something.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, like I said, and we'll just go ahead and get to it. His little friend was being SA'd.
Mhm.
Apparently, from the whole time they were there, and Spencer intervened, got involved. Like I said, something I knew right away when he wouldn't make eye. The guy kept looking over there and he didn't make eye contact. I was like, something. Oh, yep, that's what's happening. And so, one thing that made me laugh, I really liked about not him being SA. I liked how the captain just took care of it. He's like,
we talked about that too. I was like, why can't justice be simple this way?
Yeah, he's like,
I saw something bad. Oh, you did? Is that true? Yes. Okay, boom. Can we move on with our day? Like, oh my gosh, yes.
and you clean it up in the dark. These men need sleep. And yeah, next time come get me, okay?
Yeah. I do like that. Yes, the simplicity of this time frame of swift justice is just like, I wish we could have that back a little bit in this day and age.
Yeah, he let him have it, and so his little buddy he thanked him for it, but he was traumatized by it. He was about to he was about to unalive himself, and once again, Spencer comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Talks him out of it. Something they did mention, his cousin being sent to Galveston. I read up, they did say Spencer at one point will be involved with the mafia. I'm like, okay. So here we go again with another Odyssey quest. Is he gonna get to Montana? We know he gets there because in the trailer there you could see there's a scene where Jacob's talking to him. You see Spencer off screen, but I'm like, are we gonna waste like 6 or 7 episodes and then he gets there in the last episode and a half, and then he has to clean up the mess? So so I think
quests.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting a little side quest, I believe, because like I said, he mentioned his cousin there, and then something I mentioned earlier about the lions.
Yeah,
the little Italian guy brought up the lions. I think that has, like I said, once again, I think that's quite a bit of significance because he describes the lions to where he's like, there's 2 types of lions, the one in the mountain and then the Barbary lions that attack the cattle. And Spencer says, we have lions in America and they don't attack cattle. I refer to Whitfield being a lion. And what is Spencer known as?
He's the lion hunter. So yeah.
So I think all courses that, I think that's where it's obvious, but I think those are definitely callbacks to where we're going. Also, something that was said, I don't know if it correlates, but the little Italian, I wish I knew his name. I'm tired of calling little Italian guy.
I don't know his name either.
Yeah, but he said something about there's two types of men, ones that take and ones that make stuff, and I think that might be a reference to Whitfield and Jacob and the Duttons. Like, Whitfield's out there taking everything, and then Duttons through their works they make and contribute things. So I mean, we
Just
could look at it that way.
To categorize men as good and evil,
Yeah.
So, I like that you brought that up too, because you'll go into this story, that the Indian man who talked about how, she's like, how do you make those things? So we have so many people that make in this, series. And so it's a very distinct black and white. We have the makers and the takers in this series. And so that plays all the way through. So,
and something I noticed before we slide over to Alex, Spencer's fighting style, he's not, he's great, but he's not beyond being dirty.
No,
he will play dirty, and he's very like when he gets going, he doesn't hold back.
No.
So like, because it's like, I think it's one of those stuff. It's been boiling to the surface, but he's been keeping that at bay, and I think that's in real life. Guys are individuals who may know a martial arts, or they soldiers who have been in violence. They're typically the most like that, because they understand like the price, and if I get going,
yes,
it's gonna be bad. And I think once he gets to Montana, he's not going to be holding back anymore.
No, because I think Spencer is a caliber of man that he does have good in him, but he will, when push comes to shove, he is a survivor. And so I think, yes, like you said, these men know, like, one, the cost of a life, but two, they have it in them as well. Like, if I'm going to go, not only will I go all the way, it may be hard for me not to go all the way. Like, he has been in war. He's a frontiersman. He suffered childhood trauma. Yeah. He's not someone that once those emotions come to a head, it's very hard for him probably to tamp those down. And I'm sure that in his history, there have been times that it's gotten the better of him without him intending to. So yes, him asking the question of like, are there rules? Because I think he knows he has it in him. Like, you say no, it will be very easy to let myself just go all the way.
He is your classic, the tortured hero trope. Like the tortured soul. He's gonna be. It's like he'll never be able to be happy. There'll be always some kind of melancholy,
and not 100% good.
Huh?
Not 100% good either.
Yeah.
You can tell he wrestles with that. Yeah. I think that's why he picked this Italian guy up, or how he's always gone for the underdog, because it's like he can't figure out a way to fully redeem himself. So he redeems himself where he can, especially with people who really and truly need his help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Now we move over to Alex. Alex is on punishment. She's been grounded. When we find
insane. She's an adult.
she's been sequestered away. And I mean, it goes to just show you how the world used to be for women. Like, there's a lot of the saying, things are bad nowadays for your average woman, but I don't like back then. Women had no agency in their life back then. Like, you couldn't do anything. Like, and so, and the people who she crossed were very powerful. Like, they said her family was banished from London. They couldn't even go to London because of the other guy, the one, her intended, who she was supposed to marry. But something that is confirmed that I think, like, because me and Emily, who do these reviews as well, and I think we maybe even talked about it. Who was John Dutton's grandfather? Was it Jack or was it Spencer? And I think this confirms that it's going to be Spencer.
Yes.
Spencer's going to be the grandfather.
I think so
uh,
too. Yeah.
because I think my theory also is I think Jack, because he was mainly, if you think about it, he grew up with Jacob and Kara. I think his relationship with Elizabeth, I think Elizabeth may not ever be able to have children. I think their relation, they're going to be the Jacob and
I
Aunt
know.
Cara going forward.
Yeah.
Uh, and it would be very, I think it would just be very fitting because that's who they've grown up with and who's kind of helped take care of them and brought them along. Uh, but I think with Spencer and Alex, I think it's going to end tragically, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to whether this child she's carrying, maybe she loses this one and then there's another baby to come later because we know Taylor Sheridan likes to have that story. But, you reminded me Elizabeth's already lost a baby. So it's making me wonder like, well, possibly she makes it, she has this child and then but then something happens to her after she has this child.
I think she has the child. He doesn't survive.
Oh, really? You think so?
I think he through this war may sacrifice himself, or he just gets wounded. He doesn't make it, and he, like we talked about, he's the tortured, the melancholy. I think he will find his happiness knowing that he had
That
he's a father. He will go peacefully because, like I said, him being a soldier in World War One, the war he fought in is talked about as the worst war there.
Mhm.
What those men went through,
Yeah.
he will be at peace finally. And I think that's where Jack comes in and will have the responsibility of raising his son, his
Yeah,
uncle's son. Uh, I think that's where we're. I know we're kind of going far ahead, but I
I
just
know.
I don't see them ending with a bow on the top. Like they're reunite. They are apart for a reason. For most, like
Yeah.
they're keeping them apart for a reason. I think it's just going to end in tragedy. I think Alex will survive, and I think Spencer will be the one that goes. Um, yeah, that's kind of how I see it. But what did you think about everything without like her with her friend finally helping her? I mean, I just like I said, there wasn't a whole lot there. You
No,
know,
but I mean, I'm having a hard time liking her. She's kind of a spoiled brat.
and naive to the world she lives in. Like she's
Very
just
much. Like, girl, you are fixing to travel alone, not in first class. I mean, and you've already gone through so many things with a guy that knows how to handle his business, and now you're by yourself. And I don't know.
yeah, like she's not understanding her friend's perspective. Like
No, she's just using that friend.
it's a lot. It's the friend's like, hey, I got a lot to lose too in this. They find out I help you, and the friend helps her anyway. So she kind of manipulates her, and
Yes. Oh, there
all
and
her,
like so
yeah.
obviously. I think that was another reason I was like, Girl, you are so obviously manipulating your friend. Like to prove to me you're my best friend. No, best friends don't have to prove shit."
Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, like I said, not a whole lot there. Definitely, it's going to be a bit of an odyssey for her as well. Like we see in the trailer, and it's hinted at that she's not even going to be sitting with second class. She's going to the tourists, as
Yeah.
they like to call it, and so that explains probably in the trailer why she gets grabbed up in the trailer. They see a woman traveling alone.
Yes.
Who knows what those guys are thinking, but she spent some time with Spencer. Maybe he showed her a thing or two. She's hinted at, I know how to handle myself. Maybe we'll see
Maybe we'll see.
see her handle herself. So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up with the storyline of Tiana. There was, I'd say there was a little bit more in this one than Montana, but what
Yeah.
did you think? What did you think about her storyline?
I am I'm very anxious about her storyline because she has got some bad people after her.
Bad dudes.
And I
What
mean,
once
why?
again, I was gonna say once again, another they're trying to, hey, I'm not so bad of a guy, the father. They're trying to make him,
Yeah.
the nicer guy out of that mean, because they made that one guy just that Marshall evil. It's
Reminded me of from Inglorious Bastards, the Jew hunter. Like he
oh
has
yeah.
that kind of like just
Ah,
they're vermin to him,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I thought, like you said, it, but then again, he flipped it back on him that said when he was like, oh, as a man of God, he's like, yeah, I've seen that cemetery you got,
Mhm.
man of God, like who, this that,
Right.
yeah, like you're no better than me. Like,
That's
yeah,
why I was like, why? You know, when she ran away and he's like, bring her to me. I'm like, okay, seriously? Like, you know what's going on in your house and you can't just let it go. You want to like risk your life and your other priests' lives to go across this country for this one girl that you know what was going on. Come on now.
and I find one thing I didn't like, and I know it's a TV show, but one thing I did not like, just so unbelievable, was there's no way in hell they let those guys leave after, for one, shooting those guys. Say if they go okay, but once they ran that little boy over, that they're not gonna let you leave.
Oh
Like
no,
they,
yeah. I think this party's gonna end up seeing a group of angry Indians coming after him again.
yeah. Yeah, because I that guy has to have a bad end. The all three of them are gonna have a bad, but that the main guy, the main marshal, oh, they got to make an example out of him, and I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure Tiana will be the one that gets the kill on him or
I hope so,
something.
'cause she's
Uh,
bad. She is so badass. Yeah.
and so kind of going towards her, well, we got a new Pete because the original Pete passed away. So the guy who plays her love interest is a different actor. And so I thought that storyline was, it kind of juxtaposed to like Alex's spot as a woman in the world.
Mhm.
Tiana actually has some choice in age. Like if she didn't want anything to do with Pete or marry him, the dad would have said no. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to marry him or whatever. So it kind of it is, you know Alex. They would think, not necessarily Alex, but the world she comes from,
Yeah.
they would view them as savages,
Right.
but at the same time, look, they're very progressive. They're letting women have choice, and the women have standing
Yes.
in the group, things of that sort. So yeah, it's kind of eye-opening experience. But
I think for them too, because their world has been changed, so they don't have, like, that community that they used to have, and so I think that the Native Americans, it seems like they sorta just kinda like, well, things can't be the way they were. And so he's like, "Do you like the guy or not? Yes or no? Okay, great." And he's like, "Well, I'd like you to wait for the ceremony, but I mean, it is what it is,
that
It's
was
kinda one of those things like they don't even have their own, like, societal infrastructure anymore because they've just been shifted around.
yeah,
Alex very much still in her societal
yeah,
structure. Even
yeah,
out on, the ranch in Montana, Jack and Elizabeth, they were kinda like, "Well, we kinda did our own thing," and they're like, "Well, okay, well, let's at least do it right, just for society standards." But yeah, they're out in the middle of nowhere, so, like, who else cares other than the family around them? They already pretty much in their minds had them married.
yeah. And there was a nice little interaction between Pete and the rancher, or that came through there. At first, I thought it was the other marshal. Like I thought it was, because it's, or yeah, there's two marshals. I
Yeah.
thought it was the other guy, but now it seemed like a nice guy that just happened to be in the area, and
Yeah.
so it kind of showed perspective of, Pete was like, hey, he's not that bad of a guy, whereas Tiana was like, she was kind of questioning it, but if you know her experiences,
Yeah.
she would be very apprehensive to
Right.
deal with a white man, or anybody from that world.
Just hope it doesn't come
Uh,
back and bite him. Because I know,
yeah.
like, back then, there were good and bad people. Not everyone
Oh
you
yeah.
cross meant you harm, but,
Yeah.
this show is all about drama, so it's kinda like,
Yeah.
"Oh gosh, hopefully that was just a good guy and we can kinda
Yeah.
move on." It gave him the information where they were at. He's like, "Hey, we're in Texas." So maybe that was really
Yeah.
the point, was just to because my husband even said, he's like, "Where are they?" He's
Yeah.
like, "You know?" And then so I was like, "Oh, Texas."
Yeah, because the cowboy that was there, he just seems like a good old shucks kind of guy. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't think there's anything to him, but
Who
who knows? I got fooled in season one with the redhead guy that came to work with the Duttons, but he was secretly working for Whitfield. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I like I said, in some of the discussions with Tiana, and I can't think of the older gentleman's name, but it kind of some stuff he was talking about by the beggars and needing the government.
Mm-hmm.
That is stuff that is rings true today.
Today,
You know,
yes,
the
especially
government wants
today.
they
Yes,
they want you nursing on that teat, so you can't question anything. You know,
exactly, exactly.
so I was like, ah, okay, I see what you're doing there. Yeah, I mean, it's sort form a history repeating itself, but uh, kind of just to wrap this up. All in all, I they could have done better, but let's just hope this is the low of the season
Right.
because I mean my expectations weren't through the roof, but they still didn't meet them. Like they left me like this is it,
This
like
is it. Yeah.
nothing. But we've been away for 2 years, so they're slowly bringing us along. But like I said, you only got 8 episodes.
I didn't know there was only 8 episodes, so yeah,
Yeah,
they better hit it pretty
because
quickly.
I'm like, what if you had to guess? Because I asked Emily, like we were trying to predict what episode do you think, since it's 8, what episode you think Spencer will arrive? Like episode wise, like what number you think?
I'm gonna say probably episode 5. I do think they're gonna probably push it toward the end. Do
Yeah,
you know if
because
there'll be a season 3 if they decided to
no,
not?
this is
See,
they
that
said this.
doesn't help either. Like, it's
Yeah,
hard to, like, where do you see the season going? Well, we could probably
you
stretch
know that.
predictions if we knew there was another season,
Yeah,
but if the last one, yeah, you have a lot to happen and wrap up, and also, like, kinda leave it open-ended enough to know because we know this family
yeah,
what if he goes on,
yeah.
so it's like, I know we won't get full resolution, but you gotta give us enough of we can figure out where that jump is gonna go further down the line to Yellowstone.
So, and something me and Emily talked about in the prediction video, what really grinds my gears for because this is probably I always said Jacob Dutton is probably the most important Dutton because this seems to be the work, like when they were at there, like they could lose it. They prevail,
Right.
but to know how the series ends, doesn't it like kind of piss you off watching this? Like, look what they're
Oh,
about to
it.
look
Yeah,
look what they're about to go through and how it ends. Like,
I
oh my
know.
god. And so that's why it to me, I think what happens is, and this happens with just different generations as you get further along families, like John Dutton, Kevin Collins, he probably grew up hearing these stories.
Oh, yeah,
His father was directly connected to it, so he understood like what the family went through. But
sacrifice.
then,
Yeah,
yeah, but when you get to his generation of children, they were off doing, like Casey went in the military. Jamie, well, we learned he really wasn't fully connected with the
no,
family. Beth, she's got problems that could care really less. I
yes,
think probably the only one, Lee, he got killed in the first episode. So like it
yep.
kind of makes sense how they were just they didn't want to put up, seems like, the fight
To
that
keep it.
John did because he's more connected to the past. But yeah, I sit here and I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like they about to go through all this and they hand it over
I know.
basically. So
We talk about this a lot. Like my husband,
uh-huh.
he grew up very poor.
Hmm.
We didn't have a lot either. And he heard somebody say that the first generation makes it, the second generation keeps it, and then the third generation pisses it away. And he's kind of like you. He's thinking, I'm working so hard now. I want to leave things and set my kids up and then hopefully help them set their kids up. He's like, but yeah, what happens if they just nobody cares? I said, I guess you have to look at it that you did your job and you handed it over, and it really is up to them, and you probably won't live to see it go away, and then that's not on you. And he's like, well, no,
but
you're
th-
kinda right.
but I think in a and this conversation is going another place. But if you think about it from I don't know, the aspect of once that let like because we don't live forever.
No.
but if you were to keep that going, you stay, like you can live forever. But if your family turns from that,
Yeah.
you just disappear in the sands of time. Like
Yeah.
eventually you will go away. Um, yeah, I mean, legacy's a thing. I saw something where Mike Tyson said, I don't he doesn't care about legacy. He's like, you're
He
dead,
won't,
so what?
right, he won't be around.
Like,
That's kind
yeah,
of my point of view. We
yeah,
won't be around to see it, you know?
yeah.
And so I said, I guess the only thing for you, my husband, I told him, I said,
Mhm,
is does it change your perspective? Do you want to work so hard? Do you really want to be doing the things you're doing? I said, if the answer is still yes, then don't worry about it. Keep doing
yeah,
what you're doing because it is what you want to do. And that is in your fiber and being and work ethic. But then if it changes your perspective, then you're like, nope, I'm not going to do it. Then go do that. And he's like, well, no, I like working hard. I want to keep
right,
going. I want to do these things. I'm like, well,
yeah.
then there you go.
Yeah, because I mean that would just shake you to the core if you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I did this for them and they don't even care. You're like,
No. Yeah. Like,
I,
okay,
I,
so
I
talk about Jacob, like
uh,
if you could give Jacob a crystal ball, I don't think he would have changed course. I really don't.
no,
I think
no.
he would be like, "I'm doing this for my brother. What
Mhm,
else am I gonna do? This is my home now. This is where I'm at in my life." I think a lot of people, if you were still to present that like I did to my husband, I don't think the Duttons would have changed course.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just like I think it just like us because we know because it's not real. It's not real.
Yeah.
So we get to go through the passages of time where they don't like the ones in the past have no idea. What their footprints will leave for the
Right.
future. They don't know. But yeah, that is true though. Like the because I've seen a lot like the singer Sting. He says he's not leaving anything for his children. He says I provided them a good life. If they haven't taken advantage of it while I'm here, I mean I'm not gonna because hey,
Right.
I made all this money.
Right.
It's like what Shaquille O'Neal said when his kids say we rich. He's like, no, I'm rich. It's like, hell, we ain't rich. I'm
We've
rich.
had that discussion with the kids.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
told my kids, I'm like, if
yeah,
you're a loser, nothing.
yeah,
Like, I mean
yeah,
it, nothing. Like,
yeah,
if you are
yeah,
not working hard, if you're not contributing, if you're not being a productive member of society,
yeah,
nothing. And
yeah,
I'm like, I mean it. And they're kind of like, oh, I think Bob does mean it. I said, I do.
yeah,
I mean, why would I do that? Why would I
yeah,
give you equal to your other siblings who
mhm,
are working hard and doing right? I'm like,
yeah,
so yeah, I've let them know, like, we want to help you guys. We want to give you opportunities, but it will come in the form of what you're willing to put in. And if you
yeah,
don't put anything in, then you won't be given anything.
yeah. Because Sting said he's just going to give his money to charity, like and they could use it that way. But
I hope he picks a
yeah,
really good one.
yeah, yeah. Make sure you get the yeah, because or hey, I'd probably make a phone.
You cut yourself off. There you are. Nope.
All right, I think I'm back.
There you are.
Okay. I was about to say, go ahead, make a call overseas and be like, hey, Doze, I need y'all to run the books over there on this charity I plan on giving my state
No
to.
kidding.
Make sure
No
everything's all
kidding.
right over there. Make
Ah,
sure the books come clear. But yeah, Megan, it was good. Or Megan, I'm sorry. Megan, I'm sorry. I was, you know how that goes. I'm sure you heard that a million times.
I hear it a million times.
But yeah, just good to catch up with you, and we'll keep these reviews
Yes.
going. So I'll try to check in with you, see if it'll probably be maybe on like a oh man, I'm trying to because of my schedule because I'm a
Mm,
second shifter. I just happen to have the day off
I
today.
know you have
Yeah,
odd hours.
yeah, I'm 2 to midnight, Sunday through Wednesday. So I'll try to work something out. I'll work something out. But like I said, good catching up with you. If anything, I'll probably just review the next couple episodes, and then when we get to the midpoint,
Yeah,
we'll have one like we did today, and
that'll work.
I'll try to bring Emily on. She just couldn't make it today, so it was kind of my fault. I thought I told her 4 o'clock, and then I checked the text messages, and it was one where I started a text and I forgot to
I
send it,
do that
and
all the time. Yeah, like you bring it up
yeah,
all I never sent that text.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm watching right now." I'm like, well, we'll get you on the so I'll get you on the next one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, once again, thanks for coming on. And
Yeah.
I'll have the video up later on the night. So put some editing, clean it up, make it look nice, so yeah, once again, thanks for coming on. And Megan, we will see you next time.
Thanks, Pete.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out the review and thanks for checking out the channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe, smash the like, get in the comments. Let me know what you think, your theories, and what did you think about this episode? I know we were hard on it. We gave it only a 2 out of 5. So, it just wasn't that good. But, we got to keep it real over here. So, with that being said, guys, it's your boy P sign off, and I'll check you out in the next video. Take it easy.